Hello and welcome to GC360, where news comes full circle. I'm Ross Thompson.
And I'm Maddie Holtz. We bring you news from the Georgia College campus and across the Milledgeville community. Coming up, a fight broke out over this weekend at the Velvet Elvis Bar. We'll tell you what their police report said.
A look at something you might not normally consider when thinking about going green: lighters.
GC's volleyball team closed out their season. We've got the details on Friday's home match. All that and more on this edition of GC360. Early on Saturday morning, a fight broke out at the Velvet Elvis restaurant in downtown Milledgeville. This cell phone video of the brawl has been circulating on social media. The Milledgeville police were dispatched to the scene. The police report says that involved parties fled the scene before any officers arrived, but they said one patron said he was jumped because he was from Sparta and not Milledgeville. This person did not want to pursue the matter any further. An employee with a cut on his left hand declined medical assistance. The police took no further action, saying no offenders were on the scene and a witness was uncooperative. We reached out to the Velvet Elvis for comment, but the owner could not be reached. Let's watch the rest of this video.
More than 9 months after the Georgia College fraternity Theta Chi's house burned up in flames, we don't know the cause of the fire. The Sunday, February 10th fire destroyed the two-story wood frame historic building. The fire began at 6:17 p.m. at 230 North Columbia Street. The Milledgeville Fire Department says the blaze started at the rear of the building in the kitchen and spread to the roofline, consuming the entire structure.
Subsequently, it has been under investigation. And that investigation started, obviously, with the Milledgeville fire investigator that was investigating it. And then it was released to the insurance company that was investigating that fire. And my last report on it is that it is still undetermined in terms of what was the actual cause of the fire.
10 Theta Chi fraternity brothers lived in the house at the time of the fire. No citizens or firefighters were injured.
Georgia College is one of the first campuses in the nation to host a campus-wide collection and proper disposal of lighters. Gabrielle Duchateau has a story.
Have you ever thought about where you should throw your lighters away? Probably not, but Lillian Janderlich has.
There's nowhere to properly recycle your lighters. You can't take them. It's kind of suggested that you throw them away.
It's actually harmful to throw away lighters without disassembling them.
Even though a lighter may not ignite, there's still a significant amount of fluid left in the lower portion of these containers.
The problem with leftover butane is that if not properly disposed of, the lighter fluid will be absorbed into the earth. Janderlich will disassemble all the donated lighters and recycle the scrap metal pieces. She has another plan for the leftover plastic from the lighters.
All of the extra plastic that I'll be receiving will be going into an art installation for Georgia College.
For Project Lit to get traction on campus, the stigma that links lighters and smoking must be removed.
The others associate what I'm doing with other causes, and they make reference to, I don't smoke. Well, this project has nothing to do with smoking or not smoking. I have a lot of candles and incense at my house.
Candles and incense that are often lit with lighters.
Why aren't there options on how to properly dispose of your lighters? These are flammable goods, and if you're going to purchase them and be a consumer, then you need to know how to responsibly recycle your lighters.
Soon, Project Lit will release a tutorial video on how to disassemble lighters yourself. In the meantime, Janderlich wants you to donate your spent lighters to Project Lit for proper disposal.
Hey guys, collecting lighters until 1 p.m. today if you have any spent lighters. Thank you. You're amazing.
For GC360, I'm Gabrielle Duchateau.
Yeah, for sure.
So we have Gabby here with us. Gabby, how did you hear about this project?
Well, I originally heard about this project while I was reading Front Page. I was going through my email and I saw it and I thought this was something really interesting that I didn't think had been done before. So, yeah.
So where can people go to watch this tutorial?
So the tutorial video actually hasn't been made yet. She's doing this project for a class. So once she's done with all collecting her data, she's going to practice disassembling lighters, And then once she has it down, she's gonna create the video, and she's hoping to get a couple of the Mass Comm students maybe together to get the video done. So in the near future, we will see the video.
How long will she be on campus for?
She'll be on campus collecting the lighters until tomorrow, but she said if you have your own lighters that you want to give her personally to use, you can give it to her until the first of the year.
So what do you find most interesting about this project?
Well, I just thought it was super interesting because I had never thought about where to throw my lighters away. Honestly, they just kind of disappear. And so just to think that they're just being crushed into the earth and I'm part of that. So it's really interesting to think that if I just disassemble it, I can recycle them myself.
Well, thank you, Gabby, for joining us.
Of course.
Coming up, Natalie Sadler went to the Battle of the Bands. Find out who rocked out when we come back.
In the small town of Elmira, New York, a boy was born into an all-American family. The odds of him achieving his dream in the fashion industry? 1 in 23 million. The odds of having a child diagnosed with autism? 1 in 68. I am Tommy Hilfiger, and my family is affected by autism. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs.
Get caught buzz driving, and you could do some hard time.
Craig, knock it off.
Sorry, Mom.
It could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. And that could set you back a few years. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Last Thursday, the Campus Activity Board held their annual Battle of the Bands. Our own Natalie Sadler checked it out.
The 6 bands battled it out as an excited crowd cheered them on. With free food, free shirts, and good music, what isn't there to like? The audience danced and screamed for each band, but soon it came time for them to choose the winner. And the opener for Homecoming? In third place, Hype. In second place, Parking Garage. And in first place, Pajama Party!
We didn't know what the outcome would be, of course. All the acts were really good. It was a really fun concert to be at, let alone perform in, but we feel very fortunate to have succeeded in winning.
They hope that this is only the beginning, as they have more performances lined up.
The first gig that we have coming up pretty soon here is on Saturday at the Tanzaville Bar, which is the new bar that's literally right around the corner from BB&T. So come check us out at 10 to 1 p.m. 1 a.m., sorry.
It's going to be a very long gig.
Yeah, 13 hours.
The Christian rap duo El Camino were awarded the Audience Choice Award, and it's easy to see why. They seem to have a large fan base, and audience members even started crowd surfing. It all made for a very electric evening. For GC360, I'm Natalie Sadler.
It's that time of year when we all get ready to be with family and food over Thanksgiving break. However, Georgia College will be holding classes on Monday and Tuesday before the holiday. GC360's Connor King found out how professors handle a shorter week.
Faculty, staff, and students are getting ready to be with family for Thanksgiving break. But during the week of Thanksgiving, classes will still be held on Monday and Tuesday at Georgia College. Thanksgiving break will consist of Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, the day before, of, and after the Thanksgiving holiday. Brad Fowler, lecturer of Management Information Systems, plans a full class period full of material. Professor Fowler won't change his lesson plans any different than any other class period on Monday and Tuesday.
My expectation is we have work planned for that day. I expect everybody to be in class. I can empathize with the students that this is the day before a holiday and a break, and we always want to start early.
Assistant Professor of Asian History, Ashley Ikimoto, knows the expectations of college students.
I find that students who want to come in will come in, and that, you know, it's their responsibility to keep track of things.
Normally, a professor gets 150 minutes of class time per week. During Thanksgiving week, professors who teach Monday, Wednesday, and Friday classes will only get 50 minutes of class time. For professors who teach Monday, Wednesday classes or Tuesday, Thursday classes will get 75 minutes to teach during Thanksgiving week. As professors adapt their schedules for less class time, they know how badly students are ready to start their vacation. The Tuesday before Thanksgiving tends to look like a typical Friday on campus, the day of the week where less classes are offered.
I think that this can also be good professional development for students. You know, there's closures, what have you, and kind of getting used to schedule disruptions is a really valuable skill.
While many students will still be attending classes the week of Thanksgiving, I'll be flying out of town with my family on Monday. Stay strong, Bobcats. You can make it through those classes. Holding one class for the week can feel different, but professors can look forward to a break of teaching before the stretch to final exams in December approaches. For GC360, I'm Connor King.
Coming up, a full report from our sports team. We take a look at how the Lady Bobcats volleyball team finished their season. Stay right here.
In the small town of Elmira, New York, a boy was born into an all-American family. The odds of him achieving his dream in the fashion industry? 1 in 23 million. The odds of having a child diagnosed with autism? 1 in 68. I am Tommy Hilfiger, and my family is affected by autism. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs.
Get caught buzz driving, and you could do some hard time.
Craig, knock it off.
Sorry, Mom.
It could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. And that could set you back a few years. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Welcome back to GC360. It's time for your weekly sports update. I'm Herndon Lee.
I'm Daniel Masciatero.
And I'm Kirsten Skipper.
As we wind down on the fall semester, the late fall intramurals are also in the playoffs as well. Every team has made the playoffs, but how well you did in the regular season determines what bracket you're in for the playoffs. The playoffs begin on Monday, and the teams will compete against each other until the finals, which are on December 4th through the 5th. Good luck to all the teams competing in the intramural championship for the shirt. If you're playing outside, remember to dress in layers. It might be a little chilly out there for the next few days on the field.
It's time for your weekly non-GC sports coverage. I'm Nathan Conley. As you sports fans may know, the college football playoffs are right around the corner. I'm here to give you an update of this season and who I think will make it in the playoffs at the end of the season. Currently, the LSU Tigers are ranked number 1 in the nation, followed by Ohio State, Clemson, and Georgia. According to the College Football Selection Playoff Committee, they are giving the Clemson Tigers a 29% chance of winning the national title. Clemson is currently sitting at an undefeated record of 11-0. They are on a 26-game winning streak. Remember when they won the national championship last year 44-16 against the Alabama Crimson Tide. Don't count the LSU Tigers out just yet, as they are having a very strong season, being led by their star quarterback Joe Burrow. They are currently 10-0, seeking to win the national championship for the first time since 2007. I believe this year's playoffs will consist of LSU, Ohio State, Clemson, and Oklahoma. I would love to see a battle between the Tigers in the national championship game, with LSU reigning victorious with the final whistle blows. Let's throw it back to the sports desk.
So, Herndon, who do you want to see in the playoffs?
The playoffs for me, obviously, I'd love to see Georgia in the playoffs. I just don't think that Georgia's going to make it this season. Georgia's defense is one of the best in the nation, but offense-wise, there's just some things at the offense that just aren't clicking. I think that the college football playoffs, obviously the second week, the top 6 hasn't changed at all. But the college football playoffs, I think after championship week, after all the championships, I think it's going to be LSU at number 1, Ohio State number 2, Clemson number 3, and I think the Oregon Ducks are going to sneak in and going to be the number 4 team to be the college football playoffs. I think Oregon's done really well. Only that one slight hiccup at the beginning of the season against their loss against Auburn as their season opener. But I think LSU has just a really great offense. I don't think LSU is going to win the national title. LSU's defense is just not it's just not there this season. They've been outscoring all of their opponents this season. That's been their game. But when they come and face against a team like Clemson and like Ohio State, who have a relatively good defense as well as a good offense, I don't think they stand a chance in the national championship. LSU, I think Joe Burrow is a really great quarterback. I think he's going to win the Heisman. But I just don't think LSU can just pull off the win this year.
Yeah, I think a lot of us want to see Georgia go to the playoffs, but it's just not going to happen.
Yeah, I'd love to see Georgia in the playoffs. Obviously, Georgia has made it to the SEC championship this year, 3 years in a row, thanks to our great quarterback, Jake Fromm, and our defense is outstanding this year. And I think obviously the West is going to be LSU if they can win this week against Arkansas. So it's going to be LSU and Georgia in the SEC championship in Atlanta on December 7th. It's going to be a really great game. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. Turnover is going to be big in that game, but I think LSU will come out on top just because of their dominant offense.
How about you, Kirsten? What do you think LSU's chances are?
So I've been an LSU fan for a long time now, and I just have faith in Coach O and Joe Burrow that we can come out on top this year.
Yeah, personally, I think LSU and Clemson, with both teams being undefeated, I think it would make for a great game.
Go Tigers.
All right. The Lady Bobcats closed out their disappointing season with a pair of losses at home. Evan Sabat has a story of Friday's home match against the Lander University Bearcats.
While the crowd may have been thin, the energy they produced was electrifying. From the start, you could tell this was going to be a close match. Coaches from both sides quickly brought their teams in to discuss strategies moving forward. As soon as the Bobcats would score, Lander's coach would call a timeout. Your Lady Bobcats fought hard to defeat the Bearcats in the first set, 27-25. Coaches then discussed amongst themselves a game plan. The Bobcats held it close in the beginning of the second set, but the Bearcats came back strong to win 25-21. The Bobcats quickly recovered and dominated the third set, 25-18. The fourth set was neck and neck for a time, but the Bearcats prevailed 28-26 to tie the match at a 2-set each. Before the fifth and decisive set, senior and captain Nicole Cohen talked to her team. The last set was hard fought, but the Bearcats prevailed 15-12 and won the match 3-2. The Georgia College Lady Bobcats closed out a tough season the next night with a 3-0 loss against USC Aiken. The overall record for the season? 7 wins and 20 losses. Reporting for GC360, this is Evan Sabat.
All right, Evan, well, it looked like there was a low turnout for the game. Did the crowd still rise to support their Bobcats?
Yeah, for sure. There definitely wasn't a whole lot of students there. It was mostly parents there kind of supporting their kids. But definitely the students that were there were getting behind it all on both sides, from both Lander and for Georgia College.
Well, it seemed like both coaches had a really high energy during the game. Do you think that had a positive effect on the players?
Yeah, for sure. They definitely, both teams, especially Lander, their coach was really getting into it. It was very neck and neck on both sides. So I think the energy that both coaches were bringing were definitely helping hype up the teams and keep them going, keep them motivated throughout the game.
All right, well, volleyball has had a tough season, but this game was especially close. What do you think the team could have done differently to pull out the win?
Honestly, our defense was really good. Majority of the game, I mean, we kept it pretty close on both sides. We definitely dominated, in some aspects. Our offense could have been a little bit better, could have been a little tougher. But I think all in all, they put in really good work, as good as they could have. But yeah, they definitely could have. There could have been some things that could have worked better for them.
Yeah. Well, after this, do you plan on going out to any more games in the future?
Yeah, for sure. So they are done for this season. They lost both Friday and Saturday, their last 2 home games. But definitely into the future for next season, I will be going. In fact, this was actually like the first volleyball game that I've actually been to here, as well as the first time I've been in almost a decade. So I definitely really enjoyed it. It was great to get to go out there, see the energy the team put on, see their hard work come through. So I definitely will be going out again to go see them.
All right, well, Evan, thanks for talking with us.
Yeah, thanks guys for having me.
Now it's time for your weekly sports preview. GC women's basketball team will be facing Albany State on Monday at 5:30 in Centennial. There are only 3 home games left for the women's basketball team and 1 home game left for the men before we let out for winter break. So show your support and cheer on our Bobcats for a strong end to the semester.
Coming up, I'll be joining Jordan to talk about my favorite movies. Stay with us.
In the small town of Elmira, New York, a boy was born into an all-American family. The odds of him achieving his dream in the fashion industry? 1 in 23 million. The odds of having a child diagnosed with autism? 1 in 68. I am Tommy Hilfiger, and my family is affected by autism. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs.
Gabby, about to do the weather. I love weather. I guess it's my thing this semester. Dylan Dreyer.
Get caught buzz driving, and you could do some hard time.
Craig, knock it off.
Sorry, Mom. It could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. And that could set you back a few years. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Welcome back to GC360. I'm Jordan Richardson.
And I'm Daniel Mastrodotero, filling in for Frankie this week.
So Daniel, Dr. Sleep just recently hit theaters November 8th, and you had a chance to see the movie last week. So what can you tell us about it?
Well, Jordan, Dr. Sleep is the newest release in a long line of Stephen King movies, and it acts as a sequel to Stanley Kubrick's The Shining, and also as an adaptation to the book itself. The majority of the film takes place around 44 years after the events of the first film, where we see a grown-up Danny Torrance, who's the kid from the first movie, still dealing with the trauma that he experienced at the Overlook Hotel. But while he's dealing with all his own demons, he's also tasked with protecting a little girl named Abra from dark forces that are seeking out to find her and kill her. because of the shine, which is like a supernatural ability that they dive into the movie, which is a ability that her and Danny share. After watching the trailer, I gotta say I was really excited for the movie. Yeah.
Sounds like a pretty crazy plot. I've never seen The Shining, so do you think it would be a good movie for someone like me to see, or just an average moviegoer?
Well, honestly, I had a great time watching it, and personally, I think it's one of the best Stephen King films to come out recently, aside from It Part 1 and Part 2. You know, they do a great job establishing like an eerie atmosphere that really gave me the heebie-jeebies, you know. And character-wise, I really loved Ewan McGregor's interpretation of Danny Torrance. He did a really good job making you feel like that it's the same kid from the first movie, you know. And Kylie Curran's Amber Stone sticks out from the cast and delivers one of the best performances when she's alongside McGregor. They have that chemistry that really pops out of the screen and makes older scenes the best ones in the film. There's a lot of character development to be seen and questions to be answered, but you don't have to have seen the first Shining to understand what's going on, even though if you had seen the first one, there's a lot of references and Easter eggs that are put there mainly for the fans.
Okay, sounds like a good experience to have, and a good opportunity to get popcorn and go see it. I might have to go check it out soon.
Yeah, are you a fan of Stephen King movies? Have you seen any of them?
I've seen both the original and the remake, and I've seen Christine, the movie about the car that has like its own life and stalks the boy. So I really enjoy his movies, the ones that I have seen.
Yeah, I think a lot of the Stephen King movies that have come out recently have been huge hits in the box office. I'm excited to see what else they can throw out there.
Yeah. I'm not really a horror movie person, but I really did enjoy those movies. Okay.
All right, well, that's all for entertainment this week. Here's Gabby with the weather.
Hello, and welcome back to your weekend weather forecast. I'm Gabrielle Duchateau. Looks like things have taken a turn for the warmer side of things. This week has been quite warmer than we have experienced recently. Since Saturday, we have stayed steady in the 60s, and it looks like that will continue for the rest of the month. On that note, let's dive into this weekend's forecast. And things are not looking pretty. Friday looks like it will be a muggy day, mostly cloudy and warm. The high will be 70 degrees and the low will be 56. I mean, come on, it's November. We shouldn't expect to see temperatures this high. The chance of rain is 20% and humidity at 74. Saturday will be rainy, 100% chance of rain. The high will be 69 and the low at 46. Humidity will rise to 89. This day seems like your best bet all weekend to get your homework done before the Thanksgiving holiday. Sunday, we will slightly recover from a muggy few days. It will be partly cloudy, but the high will be 58 and the low of 39. There is no chance of rain on Sunday, and humidity lowers to 64%. Anyone planning on traveling this Thanksgiving holiday, pay attention to the weather conditions as it can change and delay travel plans. There is a low-pressure system that can bring travel delays to part of the east this week, and it is possible that something similar can develop in the central United States. Safe travels and enjoy your turkey. Back to the desk.
Thanks for tuning in to this week's edition of GC360. I'm Ross Thompson.
And I'm Maddie Holtz. When we're not on air, we keep you up to date on our social media pages. Facebook.com/GC360, at GC360 News on Twitter and Instagram, and on our YouTube page, youtube.com/GC360 News. Always available to you, GC360, where news comes full circle.